Geeks, nerds, welcome to the stage.
Thanks for having us.
How are you feeling today?
I'm sick.
Oh,
Stay over there.
that's beautiful.
I am testing.
Sorry, whoever uses this microphone next.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys to roll for initiative, please.
Sorry, I'm a notorious
Big money, big money, no whammies.
Watch that dice off too. That's a 4.
That's a 10.
4 and a 10. So, Geeks, do you want to go first or second?
We want to go first.
All right, first. A little gutsy move there. So, we are now on the intro round. You have 2 minutes to explain to me why Jason Voorhees is the most nightmare-inducing serial killer. He doesn't have nightmares. Maybe he does. You'll go into it right now.
Well, Jason Voorhees is unstoppable. It doesn't matter what you do. If you see him and get away, if you manage to get away, you'll be having nightmares about it until he catches up with you, and it's your inevitable demise anyway, and he's going to hack you to pieces.
And he's going to catch up to you, by the way, power
That's right.
walking the entire time. No matter how fast you run.
Yeah, you're going to run, you're going to trip on a route, and then you're going to die. Also, he can't be reasoned with. Usually it's, oh no, please don't do this to me. No, stop. Oh no, but, and you're dead. There's no talking to him. He might not even understand you. Also, he has superhuman strength. He has picked people up in sleeping bags and bashed them across trees. He's thrown machetes through people, through trees. He'll just rip it to pieces. He's taken people's heads and turned them completely around. Also, you know, he's unkillable. How many movies is it? 10? 12? Actually 12 if you can see. Yeah, that's right. He keeps coming back no matter what you do. You can blow him to pieces. The pieces, they magically start moving and then they form Jason Voorhees again.
You're going to Terminator.
He's worse than the Terminator. Yes, that's right. There's nowhere to run and hide. He will find you. Also, he's an iconic character. If you wear the hockey mask and you're wearing the jumpsuit and it's Halloween or you're in the woods, everybody knows who that is. People see that and they get scared. Also, have you seen him with his mask off? I know when I was a kid in the early 80s, I saw that for the first time and I was scared shitless. I had nightmares for weeks.
He could never watch the Goonies ever again.
Sloth. That reminded me of Jason Voorhees. Everything reminded me of Jason Voorhees growing up.
30 seconds?
Oh, 30 seconds. Okay. Well, he's the embodiment of the boogeyman. You know, if you go out in the woods and you're out there at the campfire and everybody's going back to retire to the sleeping bags, everybody's got that in their mind. So thinking to themselves, I should sleep with one eye open because Jason's probably going to come and get me tonight, even if it's not real. That is what brings nightmares.
All right, let's hear it for the Geeks. I'm confused Chunk with Slow. All right, so intro round for the nerds. Nerds, please explain to me in 2 minutes why Dr. Hannibal Lecter is the most nightmare-inducing serial killer. Please begin.
Hannibal is an unknown. He is an unseen threat. He's subtle. He can bide his time and strike when you least expect. He's a lurker. If you are his target, he will look at you for 30 seconds, talk to you for about 15, and by then he'll know every single thing he needs to in order to make you disappear and reappear on a plate next to some sautéed onions and mushrooms. If he approached someone who didn't know who he was, he could handily manipulate that person into doing anything he wanted them to, and it would strike them as a good idea. Hannibal is ruthless. He is without morals. He considers himself to be truly evil. Think about that for a second. The only characters who gleefully recognize their own actions as evil are cartoonish supervillains who work to block out the sun. And that's what makes him scary. Hannibal is an all-right fellow. He's affable, intelligent, and a rather clever man. If you're not careful, you may find himself on your side. Hannibal could be anywhere. He could be anyone. He's adept at evading capture. He could disappear into any population, and he's a master of identity forgery, anonymous travel, concealment of evidence, and any number of additional skills he has locked away in that indecipherable mind of his. What I'm saying is this: Hannibal could happen. He may be only human, and not a supernatural, vengeful ghost. But I know many more humans than I do ghosts.
Very good.
That's lovely. Clean up, that's about do, we have to hand out the rebuttal tokens. The rebuttal tokens can be handed back in to me to instantly rebuttal something else that the other team has made. So, for Team Jason, you already have one, but you get a mask. For Team Hannibal, you get a mask. That's so different, really. Oh, it's very becoming of you. Alright, so it is now time for the attack round. Geeks, please explain to me in 2 minutes' time why Dr. Hannibal Lecter ain't that scary. You got 2 minutes, please begin.
Alright, let's talk about Hannibal Lecter for a second. What has he done to deserve the title of most nightmare-inducing killer? I mean, he's a human being, for God's sake. He has human weaknesses and emotions. You can kill him, he can be hurt, he can go old.
No, wait. There's lots of things that are scary about Hannibal. I mean, he's a fairly attractive, rich white guy.
Dreamy blue eyes.
Yeah, and he's urbane, and he likes art, and
Get a room!
Yeah, but if you walked into this room right now, you would not be afraid of him unless you knew that. Unless you knew he was an evil person. He can talk to you, he can be nice. He's a nice person underneath.
but what about the kind of people that Hannibal kills?
Yeah, that's right. He only targets select individuals, not group as a whole. I mean, his first murder victims were the people who killed his sister, and that brings up another point. He has a backstory. If you give your character a backstory, he becomes less psychotic and more sympathetic. I mean, it happened in Star Wars to Darth Vader, and it happened in Hannibal and Hannibal Rising, which, by the way, was only written because Thomas Harris was told that he had to write an origin story for the character, or someone else would. And another thing you have to point out, that his only weapon is his voice, his silver tongue. He talks to you, he gets under the skin. There's an easy way to defend that, and it goes like this. La 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 la. I mean,
It also works in the 4th grade.
if that's the easiest way you can defend it against them, I mean, what are you gonna do? If you can do that, you can just put your hand on someone like this and say, talk to the hand buddy, because the face ain't gonna hear it no more.
That was 5th grade. You got 30 seconds?
Yeah, that's all
I think the last thing that we want to say is that Hannibal does have that intelligence which can be reasoned with. And when you look at the list of the people that gets in his way, it is mainly people who are affronting him or blocking his aims. He's not running around mindlessly killing people. We here in Vancouver know that Hannibal the Cannibal isn't going to come and visit, if only because our vineyards aren't quite sparkling this year.
All right, let's hear it for the Geeks. All right, so going over, also just a second, you said that if Hannibal walked in through that door, you wouldn't react. I would be like, Odin, how did you get here? All right, going over to the nerds.
How would you recognize him without the eye patch?
Oh, it still would. He'd have a booming voice and be like, but you're not kidding. Yes. All right, so moving over to the nerds, please explain to me in 2 minutes' time why Jason Voorhees is not that scary. Please begin.
Jason Voorhees is a plot device, as opposed to a character or anything significantly to be feared. They mentioned that that Hannibal has an origin story. Jason also has an origin story. He was originally his mom, and then later he was avenging his mom's murders, which she committed in order to avenge him. But yeah, he's scary enough, trudging around Crystal Lake, appearing randomly whenever anyone has sex. Thank you. Very inappropriate. But
Whenever anyone has sex.
whenever anyone has sex or not anything outside a very sort of narrowly confined range of what you're allowed to do at summer camp. Generally, all the fun things you're not allowed to do at summer camp, this guy comes out and kills you. You'd think they just stop going to Crystal Lake eventually. Oh well. But yes, nightmare-inducing. I am not actively afraid of random people in hockey masks. Mainly, and I'm going to mention this for mad props, I hope, because every time I see someone dressed as Jason, I hope in my heart of hearts they are dressed as Casey Jones. Who I'll admit is somewhat derivative, but no, because he speaks and has a personality. He's not just I believe Jason's only spoken lines as himself or Mommy, don't drop me drown.
All right, I'm going to have to cut you off there. We have a hockey mask
Oh,
being
buddy.
turned in.
I have to be rebuted.
What point would you care to rebuttal?
Well, appropriately for the hockey mask, I'm going to rebuke the idea that people aren't scared of hockey masks. We live in Vancouver, and if there are any Vancouverites who aren't afraid of Roberto Luongo in one way or another, then you're not being honest with yourself. Nightmares.
Local humor, Hutchinson.
Oh well. My rebuttal to said rebuttal is that anything that vilifies hockey players is in fact anti-Canadian and suspect in the first place.
You have about 30 seconds to wrap up.
All right, I think I can do that. All right, and number one, I have a powerful sort of resentment for any character whose weakness is water. And Jason's weakness is water. Get him into the lake, and he is at least subdued for a while. If you threw Hannibal in the lake, I'm pretty sure he swims. And he would emerge from the lake and just slit your throat and serve you for food. As he does. Anyway, Jason, poor substitute for Casey Jones. Peace out, boss.
All